Hello, everyone. This is Caesar, also known as Ceez. We're running this again, this whole interview thing. Again, I don't have a name for this show. I don't think I'll ever have a name for the show. But I don't even say my guest because he's not a guest. This is his home. Tiger Man Jr. I have Tiger Man Jr. here. Say hello, everyone, to Tiger Man.
Everybody, thank you for inviting me to your podcast today.
Is it a podcast though? I don't know if it's a podcast.
I feel like it's a podcast.
If it has a podcast vibe, okay. I'll take it. Just explain to everybody a little introduction about yourself. Who is Tiger Man Jr.?
Okay, well, Tiger Man Jr. is a wrestler that debuted May 16 in Juarez, Mexico, in Arena Diablos. I've been wrestling for 5 years, and well, I'm Arena Gutierrez Tag Team Champion.
Hell yeah!
And well, I think that's pretty much it.
That's pretty much it. I know for a fact you're second generation, right?
Yeah.
So your dad is Tiger Man Senior.
Yeah. El Señor.
El Señor. And same mask design, pretty much. Did you or you switched it up a little?
No, I switched it up. So originally I had that one when I switched to Tiger Man Jr.
Okay.
Which is that one was designed by Kempo Jr. So shout out to him.
Oh, Kempo Jr. designed that mask,
yeah,
the blue one?
Yeah, the blue one. He was the one that created the designs. So
oh shit, that's
shout
dope.
out to him.
All right.
And I transitioned it because I always loved my dad mask. The problem being that over there in Juarez, there was no mask maker that could make me the mask of my dad.
Okay.
Anytime I tried to make it, it was always these
Wrong.
little details. And then this design was originally from my father-in-law, Leopardo Señor. Shout out to him as well. And this design, he used it like, I want to say like 2 times. Okay. And it was just abandoned, and I felt it looked cool, and apparently a lot of people tell me like it's the best one I've ever worn. So
it's a beautiful mask, dude. Like I don't want to shit on that one, right? But that one's nice too. Yeah. It really is, but it's like more new school. Yeah. And that's more traditional. I love it. I think that fits you a little more, but I think here and there you should throw back and put on that one.
Yeah.
But that is really cool that Kempo designed that mask for you. And for the listener, whoever's watching this, Kempo is pretty much the champion of Juarez right now, right?
One of the best.
He's the middle. Well, yeah, dude, I've seen that guy live a few times, and I'm always off my seat when I see that guy do some crazy shit. All right, Tiggy. So right now you are the tag team champion with Arena Gutierrez, right?
Yes, sir.
Any other belts right now? No? Any other belts you have on site? I know this past Friday on Heatwave you wrestled Skybird here at the Borderplex against, not against, it's Skybird for the Dragon Promotions, I think Mega Campeonato.
Yeah, it was the Absoluto. Yeah, I mean, I thought being double champ would be cool. Unfortunately, Skybird, it's because the name says it all, bro. Skybird.
Skybird, yes, exactly.
We literally can't put like any details on Skybird's name. His name is there. His name is everything. I feel like here in Juarez, and even his hometown, León, Guanajuato, I think, Skybird is Skybird. So I don't know what went through my mind that day, but unfortunately I couldn't come out as champion. But I'm still Gutierrez Tag Team Champion. But I'll wait for that rematch.
Cool. Yeah, I hope we see it again because I was here in the control room watching the match, helping produce that match, and that match fucking went hard, bro. Yeah. You even got money thrown in. You know what I mean? So
we got money tossed.
Hell yeah! And then what I loved about the whole thing though is your speech afterwards towards Skybird, giving him his respect.
Yeah, every single word I meant it, and if he's watching this right now. All respect to him, like for real. He deserves all the respect from everybody in the back and everybody who helps create Pro Wrestling Legacy, who helps create Lucha City. All respect is to him.
La verdad, como lo dije, lo vuelvo a mencionar, los sueños sí se cumplen. Para mí es un honor. Una vez soñé en enfrentarme al Sky, pero jamás soñé en enfrentarme mano a mano y menos por un campeonato. Y él sabe, no te lo está diciendo, no se le dice el personaje, se le dice la persona que está bajo esta máscara. Lo quiero mucho, porque un chingo, usted sabe. Gracias por esta lucha. Gracias. Gracias a viernes que sea, la regalo, lo que sea. Aquí está el señor.
Yeah, dude. Skybird backstage is one of like the nicest guys I've ever met.
He's one of
Yeah, dude. Like he just always the vibes. I've never seen him mad. I don't know if you have, but
No.
I haven't personally. You know what I mean?
no,
Always,
yeah.
always in good spirits. But cool. Also, this past weekend, mind you, right now the eclipse happened. I don't know when this is gonna air, but the eclipse happened. I didn't see the big deal out of it. I don't know if you did.
Gay eclipse.
Right. But was I tell you this past weekend you were scheduled to have 6 shows today over the weekend, right? WrestleMania weekend.
Yes.
You said one got canceled. How did this weekend go? Because five shows is a lot.
Yeah.
Over a weekend, bro.
You know, I love it because I feel like as a promoter and as a wrestler, having 2-3 shows in one day, it really talks about the way that you're going through this. Because I don't want to say like, oh, I'm the best. I'm not the best. I'm just a guy who's trying to get into the people's hearts and into the promoter's heart. So when they see me, they're like, hey, like, let's book Tiger Man Jr. Let's bring Tiger Man Jr. And I feel it. I take it as a real blessing to have 2-3 shows in one day, because that just makes me feel like I'm wanted in those shows. Like I'm needed in those shows, because any other promoter can say, oh, like, you're already booked. Like, why do we want to book you?
Yeah.
But no, they're like, oh, okay, like, we'll put you in a place where you can like after finishing that show, you have time to come to our show. And that for me is just like a full blessing. At the same time, it takes a toll on me because, you know, well, I'm not a skinny guy. Really being completely honest, I don't put in as much work as the other guys do.
Okay.
Like, the work is there, but it's not 100%. But so it does take a toll in my, as a, like, how do you say, like,
Like, what do you mean,
exercise,
like?
exercising wise.
Okay, cool.
So like I don't have that condition that most guys do. You
Okay.
know? So it does take a toll on me a little bit.
Okay, I feel you, man. Because I know on this past Friday at Heatwave, you had that fucking outstanding match with the Skybird,
Yeah.
and then right after you pretty much had
Into
to,
the-
you had like a 10-15 minute break, and then
And
you had to get your ass over Juarez, dude.
The break I had was just like the Uber ride, and then I was stressing because they were calling me, you know. But like, yeah, we made it. So yeah, 5 shows in 1 week. I mean, it's
1 weekend, yeah,
it's
dude.
something, yeah.
That is crazy. Not a lot of guys are doing that right now here locally that I know of. But yo, good shit. All right, Tiggy, I see that you have these masks. We talked about Kempo helping you design that blue one, right?
Mhm.
What about? I've never seen actually this mask right here, this first one right here.
Yeah.
Can you give us a little history about that mask that you brought?
Yeah, so as I mentioned, I debuted in May 19 in
What year?
Diablos. It was, I think, 2019. 'cause
2019?
I'm gonna be 5 years wrestling, so yeah, right, like
2019? Yeah, about there.
2019. So when I wear that mask, my name was Tegnus. That name used to belong to one of the Hermanos Diablos. I don't know if you've seen them in action in
Yeah.
Juarez. That was Diablo's name, Tegnus.
Okay.
I used to hang around with them a lot. You know, they helped me train as well. So when I felt the time was coming to make my debut, I liked the name, I liked the design, and yeah, you know, he said he was cool with it, and I lasted around, like, I want to say like 8 months
Okay.
with that name and design.
All right.
Yeah, eight months as Tecnus. So yeah,
And then you transition to that.
and then I transitioned to Pequeño Leopardo
Oh shit.
in October, I want to say the same year, 2019.
Okay.
I transitioned as Pequeño Leopardo in October, and then I lasted with that name like 2 years. I lasted 2 years with that name, and I really felt a difference once I put that mask on, once I put that gear on. I really felt like something wasn't attached to me as much as that mask. I felt a connection with Tecnus, but being Pequeño Leopardo, I felt something else. I felt like something was pushing me to not be that guy that was just doing it for fun, was just doing it for, you know, like, oh, I'm a wrestler, that's it. That mask made me transition my whole life. It made me be in a position, not only as a wrestler, but as personally, it made me a better person. It made me a better wrestler. It made me a better thinker. And being completely honest, I never wanted to change names. I always wanted to be Pequeño Leopardo. Well, I was gonna be El Hijo de Leopardo, but yeah, man, I don't know what went through my mind. But if I would have never, changed names to Tiger Man Jr., I would still be Pequeño Leopardo.
Okay.
Yeah.
And again, you're second generation. Your dad, also a badass luchador. How did that conversation go? Where you're like, "Apa, like I want to be a wrestler like you." Like, was it like no, mijo? Like,
being completely honest, I never felt any approval of my dad whatsoever.
Okay.
The problem is that this generation, and I talk about myself, and I talk a lot of the guys as well. No hate towards the guys, right? But I feel like this generation is just like, we don't have much respect for wrestling that was, the wrestling that was old school, the old school wrestling.
The guys before, yes.
Yeah, the guys before us, we don't want to walk with them. We want to make our own story, and that's totally fine. But there's always some respect that we need to have. With my dad, he's always had the mentality of like, you need to be 100% prepared. You need to be preparedly in lucha olímpica, greco-romana, intercolegial, and then lucha libre. My dad's father was also that type of person, and still is the type of person that like, oh no, like if you don't have those other 3 schools, like you're not even a wrestler. You shouldn't be even in a backstage.
Yeah.
So when I told my dad, hey, you know what, I'm training, he was like, oh, okay, cool. He took it as a joke, like, no va a aguantar, he's gonna quit. But no, like that was something I really wanted to do. I wanted to debut as Tiger Man Jr., and my dad told me no, no. Like he didn't tell me why, he didn't tell me a purpose. It was always just no.
Yeah.
No, I'm not. He never wanted me to wear his gear and his mask. He literally never even let me touch his gear. And then I debuted as Tegnus. When I wanted to change names, I hit him up again. I was like, hey, Dad, like, please, like, no. No. He never told me, and that's what always stuck to me. He never told me, like, no, you need to get better. You need to work on this. It was always like, no.
Yeah.
And that to me was always like a low blow because, like, it's like if, like El Hijo del Santo, like if El Santo Señor was like, oh no, you're not gonna be El Hijo del Santo.
Yeah, exactly.
Once you're born, once you have a junior, I just feel like it's by law. If he wants to be a wrestler, it's by law that this guy, like Tiger Man Jr. But
yeah.
I always felt that no, and then it was until I was a part of 9-15-656. I was like 4 months with that. With
the promotion? Yeah, with Manny? Cool.
And that was until I feel like that for him was like a big a big home run to me.
Yeah.
Because he felt like Manny was one of the top promoters in El Paso by that time. And Manny was a big promoter.
And I think he still is. Like he still do
again, he still has his thing going on,
Yeah.
And that for my dad, that was like boom, like that was like a big boom for me.
Okay.
And I really loved the way that it all started. It was a Tuesday, I think. He invited me to go eat breakfast with him, and he was like, you know what, I would really like if you transition as Tiger Man Jr. And that for me was like, I don't know, like I saw the sunlight, in years with my dad because I've never been close to him.
Okay.
And that for me was like, oh my God, that was everything for me.
Yeah, that's actually kind of beautiful, Tiger. I didn't know all that. I've met your dad once. He actually gave me a ride from one of the shows back to the bridge. Super nice guy, laid back. But what was I gonna say? That was back to the whole like respect thing and these new generations of like wrestlers and luchadores. Like, for instance, we're here at Pro Wrestling Legacy. Like, I know our locker room is very laid back. Like, I've been told like you have these guys spoiled and whatnot, and that's why I kind of like, for instance, you and Norinco when you guys are backstage because you still have that old school mentality, and you guys are not afraid to speak up and say like shut the fuck up and like
Yeah.
know your place. Like you won't hesitate when you see somebody like not respecting the business at the end of the day. You know what I mean? And that's what I respect out of you. You know what I mean? Because you'll keep it real backstage.
Yeah, so it all comes by the wrestling in Juarez. Well, lucha libre in Juarez, it's really not for everyone. Over there you really need cojones. You need to have that mentality that people are gonna try and take you way back. They're even gonna try to take you out of the business, and you have to have that mentality that like no, like I'm here for a reason, as such as you're here for a reason, and I'm gonna stay here, and no matter what you try to do to get me out of the business, it's not gonna happen. I'm gonna stay here.
Yeah.
And over there in Juarez, respect to the OGs, like nobody says. Sometimes we have visits in the locker room, like Black Skeller, Astro Boy, Serpiente Blanca. We've had in La Arena Internacional, we've had Scorpios Me show up. Like OGs. That you really like. People can't say like, oh, like who are them?
Yeah.
Every time in Facebook you see, people posting about los Scorpios, los Gringos Locos, Astro Boy, Serpiente Blanca, etc. Like everybody, even here, Impostor, Cobarde, Hijo de Cobarde, Cobarde Señor, we still have them in the back,
Yes.
And
It still blows my fucking
yeah.
mind, bro.
And we have them in the back, like, and it blows my mind as well because like having a wrestler who made it big in Mexico, who literally is the holder of the Dinastía Delgado in our locker room, like going up to us and giving us, giving, I don't want to say like hate, but giving his like opinion about the matches,
Yeah.
about our looks, about even the suitcase because it's dirty,
Yes.
That for me is like amazing, and we need to just. Sometimes it's good to speak up, but other times I feel like it's just like okay, yeah, show some respect. That's it,
Yeah. No, I get you. And talking about the Delgados and Cobardes, like I know you're really tight with them.
Yeah.
When are they part of your initial debut? Like, were you part of like the training with them? Like, explain your history with the Delgados and the Cobardes.
So, El Impostor Jr. is my godfather.
Okay.
He baptized me, and El Hijo del Cobarde is my uncle. As Cobarde New Generation, Midas and Dragon are my cousins. No, I never trained with them. Initially, I spoke with Impostor during my training. Once I felt the time was there.
Yeah.
I always felt like I needed their approval as well.
Okay.
Because I felt like, well, I feel like we're family. I don't want to say like I'm part of La Dinastía Delgado because it's not my last name, right? But
Yeah.
I've literally grown up with them. I saw El Hijo del Impostor, now El Cobarde, in his debut match. I saw Dragon in his debut match, and I've been really close to them for almost all my life, and I felt I needed that approval, but no, like I never trained with them. I actually started training with them once I put the name of Tiger Man Jr. on.
Okay.
For Impostor, it was like, hey, like your dad might not been a super estrella, but he did something here in El Paso, and people remember him, and you need to be either in the same spot that he left or even better.
Yeah.
And that's when I started training with Impostor, training with El Hijo del Cobarde, and getting those Hijo del Cobarde regaños.
Yeah.
Not having honor.
Yeah, the honor, bro.
Yeah, and that's how. Yeah, like, but initially I never trained with them until like I was already wrestling. I showed up to the Hijo del Cobarde class.
Okay, cool. Because yeah, like again, like they're backstage, man.
Yeah.
Whether they're on the card or not, and it again, I to this day, I still get nervous when I see them in the back because, like you said, like at any time they can come up and be like, "You're fucking up."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? and
Yeah,
I don't want that.
And that's really, to me, that's like a really low blow because
Yes.
I'm the type of person that really takes everything to heart, you know, because some of the times, you know, they'll just come up to you and be like, hey, you know what, you're missing this. And for a lot of guys, like, oh, okay, you know, like I did good, I just need to work on this. But to me, that was like, oh, you know, like I fucked up on everything.
Yeah.
You know, even if they just say, you know what, it was just like this tiny little detail, you know, nothing much. But to me, that's like, oh no, I fucked up. You know, but when it comes to times, because they'll do it, you know, they'll come up to you and be like, hey, you know, that was really good. You did really well. You looked really well. That to me is like, boom, that's everything, bro. You know, especially when Cobarde Señor comes up to you and be like, gives you a thumbs up. That's like, that should be like everything, bro. That should be like the what is it? The Super Bowl ring?
Yeah.
I feel like that's a Super Bowl ring for wrestling, bro, when he gives you a thumbs up.
No, I get it. And then like, you're fairly young, dude. Like, I don't want to say your age. I don't know if you're comfortable saying your age.
Not how you can say it. I'm 19 years
You're
old.
19 years old, bro, and again, already 5 years at this. Dude, that says a lot, man. To me, in my opinion, you haven't even like reached your prime at all. Like, you're not even near it, bro. So like, it's exciting because again, I've known you for like 2-3 years now.
Yeah.
On a personal level and business level, you know what I mean? Like, you're one of the guys that I just fucking laugh with backstage. But again, like, you're still new at this game, but have all this experience already. So I can't wait to see you like in 10 years from now, because you know.
Yeah, I imagine myself in 10 years. You know, I want to say like I'll be better, but I just hope to be still active. You know, because the only person that knows what's next, you know, is Jesus.
Yeah.
And I just hope to be still around and be still in that ring, because I literally don't see myself anywhere. I don't see myself doing any other sport, doing anything else, because I've known so many good people in the ring, outside the ring, and because of this business, I've got to know so many great people, including yourself. Including all the guys in PWL and all the people, the cameraman, the microphone man, everybody. I've known so many people, and that's all to this business. And it literally shocks my mind how this business brings people together, because, you know, we might have seen each other, you know, times, but PWL really brought us together and made that bond happen. And I literally consider you one of my best friends, you know, because we're the type of guys that are joking around, you know, always making jokes, you know, making fun of people, making fun of the guys.
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, it's really, this business is just amazing. As it has its pros and cons.
Of course.
You know, but like, it just wows me how this business brings people together.
Yeah, dude, I agree. Again, I remember the first time meeting you. It was for a benefit show for Mini.
Yeah, for
Mini's son.
Yeah.
That was the first time I met you. You were like, oh, cool. You know, like, I like to get booked. And I was like, oh, we'll see. And at that time, I was like, this guy's already like 25, 26. You know what I mean? And then he was like, he's barely 17 or something like that.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck, dude?
It was. I remember that show. And then,
And then, then we started working with, you know, the Glado promotions, and like the rest is history. You know, we just combined. And I think we're doing a cool thing here. You know, it's literally 2 promotions under one roof.
Yeah, no, I think not only as a wrestler, but like even the people, you know, dig it. You know, they come Friday to Friday. Either it's Lucha City, it's Pro Wrestling Legacy, but every Friday there's a show here. And if you haven't come to the Borderplex to witness a Pro Wrestling Legacy show or a Lucha City show, then you're literally missing out. Because, not to shit on anyone else that makes wrestling or that is a promoter, but Legacy and Delgados are the only 2 promotions that are taking this seriously and are not just joking around and making cards when taxes come up, and not just bringing people from the outside so they can get a crowd. Like, if we get stacked on a Friday, that's because of the talent we have, because the talent we have is literally the best talent there is right now in El Paso.
I would agree with that. You know, I'm being a little biased, but no, I agree. I think all the guys put in the work.
Yeah.
Once they hit that ring, you know, all bullshit goes aside, and they try to entertain everybody. I mean, and you know, I always keep saying it. If one of us wins, we all win. Like that's the motto we have.
Yeah, and
Like,
that's really what helps us be a family because we're a family here.
yeah,
All rivalries aside, we're big. We're just a big ass family. Including Delgado and Legacy, we're just one big family. And that's really what helps the us and promoters as well. That here it's not just like, oh no, like I went first and then you guys went first.
yeah,
It's always like, okay, like if we go down together. It's not just like, oh, one guy stays up, like everybody. If we go down together, and that's what Legacy and Delgado separate themselves from the other promoters. As the other promoters is always like, oh no, but I need to win first. I need to secure my money first, and then I'll see what the wrestlers are about.
yeah.
And that's bullshit for me.
Like, yeah, you're right. Like we do. It is a family, and I have to bring it up because someone's like, "You better ask this question." I was like, "All right, cool, I'll ask it." But like you said, we're a family, and family does fight. You are the first person I see involved, like live, being back here, where it was a straight up shoot in that ring. And I'm talking about when you and Aviatico, bumped heads during a match
Yeah.
and actually shot at each other and throwing
Yeah.
fucking real swings. I was here in the control room and I was like, what the fuck is going, like they're fucking shooting, like obviously, you know what I mean? But, and then backstage, you guys still were at each other's throats. You guys had to get separated. But at the end of the night, you guys hashed it out. You guys talked it over, hugged it out. And I think you guys been cool
Yeah.
ever since, right?
Yeah, no, we're cool. Sometimes the adrenaline just gets to you. I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't want to shit on anyone, but except for myself, I take full blame on that, and the people who were here that day, the crowd. I wanna make an apology. I've never really like apologize to the crowd because the crowd deserves everything, and I want to apologize to that crowd that was here that day, that witnessed that I really felt that was so unprofessional on my part. And yeah, we still went at it backstage, but at the end of the day, like I mentioned and we've been mentioning, like we're family, and we hugged it out, we made peace. But yeah, like we're saying, we're family and family sticks together. As family, bump heads. But,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, we're family. So like, what do you expect? And we're Mexican, so like you can never stop a Mexican from not fighting.
I
So.
was gonna say you necessarily don't have to like apologize because again, like people saw some
Yeah.
like fucking chingazos up there, and then it's just.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh shit, like this is fucking crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that shit was crazy, bro. But let's get also back. We were talking about 10 years from now. I see you. I can imagine how you're gonna be in 10 years. Like, where do you see yourself 10 years? Where do you see Tiger Man Jr. 10 years from now?
I would like to see Tiger Man Jr. be someone that people come to see to a show, because I don't want to see people don't see me like specifically just me, but I would like me to draw a crowd, like literally be one of the guys that promoters look and see like, oh, if we bring him, like he's gonna draw some crowd.
Yeah.
That would, I don't want to say, because I know a lot of the guys, and not to shit on their dreams. I know a lot of the guys' dreams is like, oh, like I don't know, probably WWE or AAA or just be in a indie promotion.
Yeah.
Not me. I want to be a local superstar as Gempo Jr., as Escobar, as Dragon, as Samurai, Aéreo, all those guys that are here in El Paso, and we have them here. Like
Yeah.
there are estrellas also, in Phoenix, in Mexico, in AAA, because they've wrestled in AAA.
Yes.
In Ring of Honor and AEW. To have those guys here, that's like a really blessing for us. To have those mega stars that go to Mexico and people go to see them, and then have them here, like hometown based.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I would like to be that. I would like to be the guy that draws that crowd. That's just like a hometown boy, hometown hero.
No, I get you. And again, I don't want to keep bringing him up, but it's because you guys think so alike, and I think that's why I get along with you and Norinco. But Norinco's told me that on the side as well. Like cool. It'd be cool if he went to WWE, right?
Yeah.
Fantastic. He's not gonna say like I don't want that. You know what I mean? But his main goal and dream is to be a local fucking legend.
Yeah.
And to him, that is, that's fucking fulfilling his life right there. If he can be respected here locally, being like again a fucking local legend, like he would be in love with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I feel like if your town respects you and sees you like a hometown hero, that for me is amazing because we have that right now. We have Los Scorpios, Skybird.
Yes.
Skybird is beloved here. Anywhere he shows up to, he's beloved. People go to see him. People enjoy him. People walk out this building or any other building he shows himself happy because he makes their money's worth. And that's what I want. I want people to come see me and at the end of the day be like, you know what? That was a good 10-20 bucks I
spent, yeah.
I spent, and yeah, bro, that's what I want. And I feel like me and Nori have a good mentality and same mentality. Unfortunately, our tag team never lasted, but we have that mentality, and but
And I think that's why you guys bump
anywhere-
heads too.
Yeah.
Because you guys think alike,
Yeah.
and you guys bump heads
Yeah.
naturally backstage.
Yeah,
and it's
so-
funny to see.
we're always bumping heads, but at the end of the day, we're good pals.
The respect's there
The
for sure.
respect's there, yeah, for sure, it's there. But anytime you wanna go at it again, I'm here.
Like one of the funniest stories like I have personally when it comes to wrestling, we were in Las Vegas. It was for the Gala Promotions, and then you guys were a tag team, and then he wanted to match gear with you, and you're like, yeah, for sure, like we'll match gear. You guys had the matching gear. Yeah, Nori goes out first, then you go out, right? And Nori's all excited because you look badass, and then you take the mask off.
Yeah.
And you're like, nah, we're not gonna be matching. And then like it fucking bugged the fuck out of Norico. Like he was like genuinely pissed off.
He
He was
was
like
pissed all the whole time.
he was like, "Se wait, kid."
Yeah, no, yeah. So we had a mask for the people that don't are probably just saying like, oh, these guys are just making inner jokes.
Yeah.
We had a mask. It was it had my design and it had his design.
Yes.
And we used it a couple of times here. And when we went to Vegas, I was like, oh yeah, let's use them. But I had newly gear for that day. And I was like, oh God, like I want to use some old gear. I want to use this new gear. So I pulled a mil máscaras. I had my new mask underneath, and then I just showed it for presentation. When I got to the ring, I took it off. Ese güey gay. And the crowd heard him. Ceez was in the crowd, so he heard him. Definitely all the crowd heard him. And Nori's just something. Anytime Nori speaks, he's gonna make people laugh.
Yes, exactly. And to this day, he holds a grudge.
Yeah.
He holds a grudge to this day. That's fucking hilarious.
Yeah. El tío Nori, or Uncle Nori.
And also, I'll go back to you knowing your history in lucha libre. Like I know you study it. Like you literally study it. You know your history, and it goes to the same thing with like American wrestling. Like you know your shit too. Like you're a fan first, right? Obviously, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So I was actually talking about this. I was thinking about this. Literally, in my family, there was no escaping wrestling because my grandfather was a wrestler, my dad was a wrestler.
So then you're third generation then.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's third generation
Okay.
actually. And then from my mom's side, my grandparents were really in love with wrestling. My mom was a fan of wrestling. And then we have my padrino, we have my tios, we have my primos. Everybody was my whole family is just based on wrestling. My mom met my dad in a wrestling show. I was literally almost born in a wrestling show. So I literally, just thinking about it, I have no escape of this business. And I remember it was just like any Sunday hit, I would always beg my grandfather to take me, to give me a ride on the show, and me sitting there. And I told Skybird this, and it's actually truly, and I say it from the bottom of my heart, seeing guys wrestle, me as a fan, feeling the adrenaline that they give to the crowd. Now, me being inside a ring and trying to transmit the same adrenaline or even a better adrenaline to that crowd,
Yeah.
that for me is amazing. Seeing little kids scream at me, throwing me the middle finger, reminding me of my mom. To me, that I just see myself as a little kid, screaming at the guy that I hate because he was beating up my idol. That to me is just lucha libre is really just magical. Wrestling itself is magical.
Yeah.
For real, like for some people it's just like a sport, but really lucha libre is what brings people together and is the main reason that people come to Juarez, come to El Paso, because El Paso and Juarez are the basis of wrestling. And for a lot of people, that's like, no, that's cap. It's really, do your fucking research, look it up. El Paso and Juarez are the base of wrestling.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, the guy that created Consejo, right? What was it called back? It was in CML.
No,
Like,
no, it was like,
um,
lucha libre. I was something.
well, the creator of Consejo, back what in the 1920, 1930, I forget. Again, I'm not a history buff, but he saw lucha libre here in El Paso.
Yeah.
He's like, what?
Took it.
And he's like, what the fuck? Went back to Mexico City. He's like, let's start doing this shit.
Yeah.
And boom, it blew up. Rest is history.
Yeah, so like look it up, people. Like El Paso and Juarez. If you live in El Paso and Juarez, just know that you're in the base of wrestling.
And yeah, dude, like I've said this. I've always said this. Now that I'm with the inside the business or whatever, but we have a lot of great talent here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like a lot, bro. And that's one of my goals with Legacy is to get those eyes here to know okay, El Paso is just not about Eddie Guerrero. Like they have a shitload of talent here.
And going to what you said about having talent, it's really every single person from first match to last match, all the guys that are part of Pro Wrestling Legacy are talented. And I say this as a person, literally the work that those guys put in, the crowd doesn't see it, but he sees it because he's in here. The guys, the work that they put in, gym wise, wrestling wise, training wise, it's really fantastic. I've seen them training, not personally, but I've seen videos of them training, and trust me, guys, it's something you have to see. The work that they make them put in to be inside that ring, it's phenomenal. And if Cosmo, if a Cosmo name is running around, if Marty's name's running around, if Midas name's running around, if Thrash's name is running around, is because all the hard work that they put in is thanks to Legacy, and shout out to the trainee Aiden Colt.
Yes,
it's thanks to him. For real, Aiden Colt has built monsters and is building monsters, and that's thanks to Aiden Colt.
Yeah, and then you're one of the monsters. Obviously, you didn't get training here, but we consider you, a Legacy original.
Oh, thanks.
I ain't afraid to say it, but I think we're gonna wrap it up right now, Tiggy. Unless you have anything else to say, unless you want to say, obviously you're gonna plug in your socials, your YouTubes. If you want to cut somebody out, let me know.
Fuck Nori. I'm just kidding. Facebook, Instagram, and
YouTube now, right?
YouTube, yeah.
I see you putting your YouTube
ads.
ads.
Yeah, I'm plugging that. So subscribe to my YouTube channel. Subscribe to Legacy as well.
Thank you.
My Facebook is Tigerman Jr. My Instagram is Tigerman Jr. 05. My TikTok is Tigerman Jr. 05, and my YouTube channel is Tigerman Jr. And as well, you can look at my YouTube, and I also have my social media there, my links. So,
Oh yeah, Tiggy, go worldwide with it, bro.
Yeah.
But that wraps it up for today. Again, I don't know when this is gonna air, when it gets done editing, obviously, but it'll be out within the week, within this Monday, because it's Monday. The Eclipse WrestleMania just happened. Thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching, and peace out.